Allah Jalla Jalaluhu said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْمُرُكُمْ أَن تُؤَدُّوا الْأَمَانَاتِ إِلَىٰ أَهْلِهَا. Allah instructs you that you are to return the amana, the trusts, to the rightful owners of those trusts. The scholars of tafsir are almost agreed that the verse that you just heard from Surah An-Nisa was revealed in the context of the conquest of Mecca. And he sallallahu alayhi wasallam entered the city of Mecca, and one of the very first things he did was that he took the keys of the Kaaba from Uthman ibn Talha, and he handed the keys over to Al-Abbas ibn Abdul Muttalib, and in another narration to Ali ibn Abi Talib. And the moment he walked inside of the Kaaba to pray, Allah revealed the verse that you just heard. Allah instructs you to give back the trusts to their owners. So he came out of the Kaaba and he called for Uthman ibn Talha, and he gave him back the key. And he said, take your key back, O Uthman. This is Allah's instruction. Today is the day of loyalty and righteousness. Our Prophet ﷺ's life was defined by the upholding of amana, the restoring of trusts to their owners. He was an ameen, a trustworthy individual. He advocated it, he called towards it, applied it, and he told us that one of the signs of the Day of Judgment will be people will lose amana. The trusts will be abused. And that is why Bukhari narrates on the authority of Abu Hurairah that the Prophet ﷺ was once sat with his companions speaking to them. And an Arab Bedouin man came in and interrupted the speech, and he said, when is the Day of Judgment? He wants a date. And so some of the companions, they said, he heard the question, but he didn't like it. That's why he hasn't answered. Other companions, they said, he didn't hear the question. And when he finished his speech, he said, where is the man who inquired about the Day of Judgment? The Bedouin said, here I am. And he said to him, when the amana, the trusts are lost, then wait for the Day of Judgment. That will be a sign. What is amana? Abu al-Aliyah, he said, al-amana is the prohibitions and the obligations of Islam. Al-Hasan al-Basri, he said, al-amana is the religion of Islam, because the whole religion is but an amana, a trust. Al-amana is something that moves with you when you move. It stays with you when you stay put. It creeps into every one of the departments of life and will bring with it a question on the Day of Judgment. Your family members, my dear brothers, it's not just a privilege and an enjoyment, it is primarily an amana, a trust, and there will be a question about it يوم القيامة. يا أيها الذين آمنوا قوا أنفسكم وأهليكم نارا. Allah said, oh you who believe, protect yourselves and your families from the hellfire. It's an amana. Your husband, my dear sister, is an amana, a trust from Allah that shall be asked on the Day of Judgment. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ said to the auntie of Husayn ibn Mihsan, when he said to her, are you married? She said, yes. He said, how do you behave with him? She said, I try to give him everything he needs as much as I can. He said to her, be very careful how you are with your husband, because after all, he will be your paradise or your hellfire. It's an amana. Your employees who work for you, they are an amana, a trust, and there will be a question about them the Day of Judgment. Prophet ﷺ said, give the employee his wage before the sweat on his forehead has a chance to dry. Give him his wage, don't delay. It's an amana. Your time, dear users of the internet and social media, your time is an amana, and there will be a question. And that's why when the people of Jahannam are roasting and they will beg for a second chance, Allah will say to them, أَوَلَمْ نُعَمِّرْكُمْ مَا يَتَذَكَّرُ فِيهِ مَنْ تَذَكَّرُ. Did we not give you lives long enough? Did we not give you time such that if you wanted to benefit, you could have remembered? Time is an amana. Your private parts, your desires, your lusts, it is an amana, a trust. And there will be a question about it on the Day of Judgment. And that is why in some narrations attributed to Abdullah ibn Umar, that when Allah Almighty created the private part, He said, this is an amana that I have hidden with you, so beware of using it except where permissible. The hijab is an amana. The Quran is an amana. Mom and dad, they are an amana. Your healthy limbs, your sight, your hearing, even your thoughts, they are an amana. Inna as-sam'a wal-basara wal-fu'ada kullu ulaika kana anhu mas'ula. Allah said, your hearing and your seeing and even your heart, there will be a question about them all on the Day of Judgment. There is another amana, trust, that many Muslims are complaining of an inability to honor it. An amana which they say we are betraying several times a day and we don't know how to stop it. This is the trust of access. In the 21st century, you are able to access a sin that our fathers and great-grandfathers needed to go to great lengths to access. For a moment, I shift your attention to an ayah